We're going live.
Sweet. Oh, we have people. I just had a large gin and tonic.
A who?
Gin and tonic. G&T. One had a gin and tonic, yeah. I got some, I'll bring some gin for you. There's a place up the road here that makes gin. They actually do really nice job, and they got really good lavender gin. And the problem is they've had to change the recipe because the color that it comes out is like this pinky purplish kind of color. And if it stays on the shelf too long, it loses its color. So people are like, oh my God, it's bad. So they changed the color. Well, now when it hits anything acidic, what did you just do? Now when it hits anything acidic, it goes completely clear or a slightly green tint, which is kind of cool. But then they realized that a whole bunch of other things, and now people still want the color. So they've had to change the fucking stuff again. So they had like cases of this stuff that he was like, and I've gotten to know the guys there a little bit fairly well. And he's like, we gotta ditch the stuff. And I'm like, excuse me? So I've ended up picking up a couple of cases of it. So yeah, I'll bring gin with me, a little spare gin. So I'm making gin teas, and they're nice. It's like a really nice light lavender. Absolutely fantastic bunch of folks, and just really good human beings, you know?
So it's not going to be like overwhelmingly strong with the pine cone.
No,
not gonna feel like
it's actually really nice. It's a good lavender flavor, like a really nice lavender flavor.
Because I've had a couple of gins that were very much like, you know, making out with a Christmas tree. I mean, it was really strong, like Pine Sol.
Oh God, no, these are good. They actually do a fantastic job of it. That's why I like it so much. They've done just a really nice job. Hi, I know I have snacks in my pocket. You know I have snacks in my pocket. You've had snacks. Why do you want more snacks? Because nice I can tell you, bugger the hell off.
My puppy's on bed rest because she tried to take a corner too fast and ended up splaying herself. All four legs went in different directions, so she jacked her shoulder up and.
Ow!
Yeah,
That's not good.
We got the puppy. Oops, God, that's so fucking bright. The puppy is upstairs still. It's finally 99.9% house trained, which is really nice. I'm getting there, but the puppy is now in velociraptor mode. He's hit that 4-month period of time, getting his full teeth and complete velociraptor. Like everything and anything in sight or even stuff out of sight needs to be chewed, including the humans around him. So we're working on that. Keep finding my damn funny feet lying all over the fucking house, and I keep donking him with the things. I'm like, these aren't toys, donk. He's getting there slowly, but we'll figure it out. It's kid puppies. Easier than kids. You can lock them back up in cages again. I mean, you can do that with kids as long as nobody reports you, I suppose.
well, you know, I mean, I think, you know, with the kids, it's funny because the instead of locking them in, you take the door away, right? That's how you manage the kids when they get to be too mouthy, right? I want my privacy. I'm a slam in my house. If you slam doors, you lose doors.
Yeah, Mo's not tried that shit on me. I had her up until Friday this week, and Thursday night. It's part of the reason that I'm like, Thursday I'm done. I'm waving the white fucking flag. Because Thursday night we crossed words, and then Friday, yeah, we had a conversation Friday, and I'm like, don't pull that shit with me. And we'll see what goes, because I didn't get it, I get her back in theory till she's over tomorrow. So we'll see if there are conversations or not that happen. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm shutting up. Go show.
All right. So we have gathered here tonight to talk about.
Gosh, are you starting that way?
Oh man. At least there's no freaking. At least we're not singing. That shit ain't gonna happen. I have got the worst singing voice known to mankind. I screech, people run.
What's a good song we should sing?
No.
What
I can do Freddie Mercury.
Doing a karaoke episode here. What's happening?
I'll do. I Want to Break Free.
Need some Elton John, maybe.
So welcome to episode 45 of the Security Shit Show. Dollar Bill, y'all. brought to you by Shit Happens. That's right. In life, shit happens. So the whole antithesis behind why I picked this
The whole
topic-
what?
Antithesis.
We got $5 words going on here, little buddy. $5 words. You and I are screwed.
What the fuck's antithesis?
No, the reason, the motivation behind why I chose tonight's topic is really rooted in something that's happened recently in the world of K-12. With the coronavirus recovery money and a lot of the other funding initiatives that people have been trying to get going, there's a whole slew of new grants available.
Did you hear that?
But
Yeah.
so there's a bunch of new money available, right? And what I've seen over the last couple of months as this has been talked about, as this funding's been being negotiated, is a lot of vendors who didn't have the time of day for these schools, for these small businesses, for the folks that are going to benefit from this, and specifically the schools, all of a sudden flocking. I've got your magic solution. It's the stuff we always talk about and complain about, right? I've got your magic solution. Just buy my thing. I'll forget to tell you about the staff required to run it. I'll forget to tell you that you can't afford to pay for it after the grant money runs out. I'll forget to tell you all these things. And so I thought we could do a show to talk about, like, where should that next information security dollar go? What should you be spending on? And not who per se, not, try to keep specific vendors out of it, but, what should you be putting that money towards? And especially if you're K-12 or if you're a small to mid business, but even the enterprise, I think the enterprise spends a whole ton of money on crap they don't need to be spending it on. So I want to talk about that. And then I wanted to talk about predatory vendors. How do you identify predatory vendor behavior? What should you be looking out for when a vendor's kind of hitting you up? So that was my thoughts behind tonight's topic. I think I'll kick it to Evan first. Two simple questions, right? So first one is, where should the next dollar go? And the next one is, what do you do to avoid falling victim to a predatory vendor? Who's got the phone?
Yeah, that goes. That's cool. I think it's me.
All right, hold on.
It's on mute.
Sorry, I was playing around. What'd you want?
No, I'm passing it to Chris.
Did you say something about money?
Pass.
No, where should you spend your
The
next
first
information
dollar,
security
that's an
dollar? Is
easy
that what you
one.
said?
Oh,
The
Is that what
first
you
dollar
said?
goes on alcohol.
it is the shit show.
It is. We're done. We're done. First dollar goes on alcohol.
Yeah, seriously.
Mm.
Drink and try
IG8.
again.
Who the hell's IG88 for fuck's sakes? I love people, but god damn it, use the fucking name.
I'm grabbing a whiskey. You two keep it
That's-
rolling.
Yeah, yo, no, god damn it, he's gone. Bacon.
Hey,
and
check it out.
What are you doing? Ryan's gonna yell at you, you know that, and you're closer. We can smack you upside the head.
What?
I'm not singing. No, I am not. We're not doing palms or singing or whatever the hell those damn things are called.
I'll sing karaoke.
Where
No, what was he saying? Something about security?
are we spending money? Where should we spend money? Should we even spend it? I want to just hoard it. I want to sit there and curl it and sit up on it like a dragon, yelling at anybody that comes close.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I mean, you and I know this. I mean, we always talk about look, K through 8, perfect example, or any of those entities, is how much we could do with open source stuff, how much we could do with the volunteer stuff. I mean, you both have said this number of times is, you want to help, you want to get into the industry, go fucking volunteer somewhere. And hey, by the way, K through 8 or your local deity worshipy place or any of that kind of good stuff are pretty awesome places to go volunteer.
Mhm.
And bring the open source tools. Then you can save the money for the alcohol.
Right. I mean, if you want
Yeah,
the most
but
formal, if you want the most formal answer, which people kind of cringe because they don't know what the fuck you're saying, but where you spend your next dollar is on your next unacceptable risk. Your most unacceptable. your most significant unacceptable risk.
True.
So if you know what the hell that is, that's where you spend it. If you don't know where the hell it is, then spend it on figuring out where the hell that is.
So Chris, you say open source, and I don't disagree, but open source still has a cost.
Oh, absolutely. The human cost, no two ways about it. I'm 100% with you. My thing, and it's not for everybody in all the places. I will not say that. I mean, let's face it, I work for a company that looks at working with small and medium organizations. You guys do, and it's not open source that we're using in a lot of cases. It's supported software. Now, the other flip side with open source is if you do bring somebody in there who can learn, or you can train, and you can spend a bit of money training them, then you've got software, now you've got somebody trained up, and now you've added to the gene pool, hopefully in the right side of the world for a change. So, yeah, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's talk about Evan's example of taking and going through the process of identifying. So if we say, you should spend on identifying and figuring out, right? What's that look like? Is that's audits, that's assessments, that's interviews, right?
No. Fuck that for the soldiers. Fuck it. One, get the spreadsheet. All of us have got a quick spreadsheet that people can fill out. Fuck the go and get somebody. Secondly, let's sit down and play how can I kill your company? That doesn't cost any money. At best, that costs coffee and donuts or tea and biscuits. At worst, you got to bring a consultant in for a day or two to help you understand how they would kill your company. Seriously, fucking Dungeons and Dragons for company, to me, is probably the most effective use of money, because maybe you bring somebody in, you can bribe them or bring them in for a little bit and go, hey, how would you kill me? What would you do? How can you do it? And use the internal people, get everybody from the business, get a bunch of folks from IT, and just sit down, put feet up on the table and spend half a day basically figuring out scenarios to kill the business. And to exactly to Evan's point, did we think about that? Have we got that covered? Oh, fuck, no. Right. Now let's get a list of those and let's figure out which ones are going to kill you quickest and first.
Well, and truly, I mean, Ryan, this is where we spend 99% of our time right now, right? With Security Studio, is trying to create a really inexpensive tool. People that don't know me know that people that do know me, whatever though, somebody knows me. I'm not motivated by money. I could give two shits about money. You know what I mean? It's about fixing this fucking problem. It's about, schools, the underserved market, state and local government. I mean, they're such a clusterfuck. If they'd get off their ass and, focus on these fundamental things, right? And so that's why we make the tool. And you don't need a consultant to use it. You can answer yes, no questions. And if you don't know the answer to the question, that should tell you something. Go find the answer to the question.
Right.
You don't have to make this complicated. It's really, really simple. So keep it simple.
What's the, not Cards Against Humanity, because that's an entirely different one. Somebody just announced they've added an extra couple of cards. What's the
backdoors and breaches?
Thank you. I haven't.
Hey, he's on our podcast next week, John Strand.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
So are you in a couple more weeks after that?
I know, in a few more weeks. I'm actually looking forward to it. It's gonna be nice. Good bullshit. I mean, even that, okay, great. I mean, if you don't have, I don't want to say have the imagination. I was actually having a really good conversation with somebody about what actually is a hacker. And it was really interesting. It was about the curiosity side of it. There was a couple of others. It was kind of there were a bunch of things. And curiosity was one of them. If you don't have that ability to think outside the box, and let's face it, there are a lot of people who don't. There are a lot of people who you say, hey, swerve left or swerve right. And they're like, oh, I can't do that. The rules say go straight ahead. All right. I like people like that in life. I can actually depend upon them. So if the entire company is full of those people, then maybe go buy backdoors and breaches or bring, one of us in to do something. But if you have that little level of creativity and that little level of kind of craziness, then fuck it, sit down. And if it isn't tea and coffee, or bring out the alcohol, you'd be amazed at how quickly you can kill off a company with a couple of good glasses.
That's true.
And speaking of hackers, if you've ever used duct tape before, you're a hacker.
Hashtag truth. Or WD-40.
Or a clothespin.
clothes. Oh my God, there's so much of that stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually, there was Julie, you know who you need to have on your podcast? I'm actually, where the hell is she? Julie. I'm going to give you a name now because she is, and
Please.
I'll put her in, Julie Chapman. Oh my God, what just an amazing freaking individual. And I'm going to put her in our chat. Oh my God, she's one of those people, former Fed, so you got to forgive her for that one, but also Navy vet, so she gets a ton of kudos from me on that one. Just one of those really, really cool individuals. We were on Bridges and Tech yesterday, and she's like, okay, and she asked me, she's like, would you agree that the first hacker was the one that came up with fire? And I'm like, ooh, that's a really interesting one. Then we went further back. I'm like, well, actually, maybe the first one was that picked up the stone and realized can actually use the fucking stone for something. And then it's like, how back do you go before you actually get the origins of somebody who's like, huh, I see what this is used for. What else can I do with it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. I just called out what the hell? There was an article that The Hill, I don't know, The Hill just put out. It was something about mobilizing. There's a bill, I guess, that's being presented on the House floor about creating a kind of a civil defense force.
Yeah.
Of,
But the
yeah.
next time we have a SolarWinds, they do realize that we're actually investigating the third one of those at this moment in time. You guys, did you guys see the latest? I think it broke news actually, well, fuck it. I'm not going to be part of that in a couple of weeks' time. I'm done. But for the minute, I'm having to dig into this shit. SolarWinds Mark III was a third-party VPN company that might have gotten broken in since 2019. Yay! And guess what? 6 government agencies use it exclusively. Yay!
Well, yeah,
Well,
no,
they called out this. The title of their article was "Civil Defense Force to Fight Off Hackers." I was like, "Fucking A." So yeah, so I emailed them. I'm like, "You're not using hackers, right?"
No shit. We're the ones that you actually want on the inside of your civil defense force, the fucking numpties.
Yep.
All right, Tim's telling me there's another one. DDT. Why the fuck would you name a company that you can't actually
are you
enunciate?
stroking out over there? What's going on?
I asked Tim what the company's name was, and it's DDTCC Training.
DDTC training?
It's DDT, which, if I remember rightly, isn't good stuff. And we got DDTC. So it's just like oh God. Tim, you need to have a conversation with Amanda and ask her why that smeg she's named a company something we can't enunciate. Why do people do this?
DDTC training.
DDTX.
There's a DDTC public portal.
Pubic portal?
No, public.
I thought you said pubic.
No, I always call public. Like every time I go down to Florida, all those grocery stores are Publix. I call them Publix.
Pubic.
I'm like, honey, can we go to Publix? Shut up.
Hey,
then I get in there and I tell her, honey, can I get some peanuts? I really, really want some peanuts. I love peanuts, but I say peanuts really fast. So it's like,
oh, that's cruel.
At Publix. Yeah, she doesn't like that. So she doesn't invite me to go grocery shopping anymore, which is kind of cool with me.
That might work actually in that case.
Marlis, can I have some peanuts, please? I love peanuts. And she's like, like, what did you think I was saying? No, I wasn't saying that. Peanuts. Do I need to speak slower for you? All right, so the Director of Defense Trade Controls, is that what we're talking about?
No, I have no clue. All right, Tim will have to figure this shit out. We squirreled. Let's go back to money. Ryan wants to spend money. Well, actually, Ryan
Who's got money?
$1. Ryan's got $1 to spend on stuff. Pubic.
Dollars, y'all.
Not anymore. He's got to get that car fixed now.
I know.
That is true.
If you need help, brother, all you got to do is say it. I'll bring you some money.
I appreciate you. I love you. Don't worry. It's under control and it's under warranty. So
ooh, that helps.
You can have my wife's car too.
Oh no, I have a lovely Chevy Malibu, so that I can know what it's like to drive a Chevy Malibu.
Weren't they meant to be? Weren't they doing a whole bunch of like, woohoo, we're wonderful, we're new, and people don't know what it is, and it looks like a Mercedes kind of Chevy Malibu, or is that not?
Oh no.
Did they lie?
No, I don't. This is if you thought basic car, and I gave you no other description,
Yeah.
the thing that just popped into your head, that's what I'm driving.
The K car.
But it's good. I don't care. I got it because it wasn't costing me much a day to have it.
Right.
Trying to control it, Yeah, of course. When I looked, I'm like, ooh, I want to get that Mercedes. Ooh, I don't want to pay for that Mercedes.
Yeah, they probably end up trying to charge stupid amounts of money, don't they, for those things?
Right.
I just finished my coffee from this morning.
You're wired for the next couple of hours. Apparently, I've got a meeting after this one. I've just found out.
What's your meeting about?
Well, we released the community stuff today.
I saw that. I'm gonna sign up. Can I sign up?
You better bloody sign up.
Nice.
Although I'm a little frustrated, and I'll have this grievance.
Because I'm not a dickhead, and that was rule number 1.
Number 1.
I liked rule number 1. I'm sorry. They let me keep the rules. Let's start with the easy one. What they didn't do is they added in fucking company road job or whatever it was. I'm like, quit that fucking shit. I win some and I lose some, apparently. And unfortunately, the landing page was rewritten after I'd said yes, and then he rewrote it, and I didn't get a chance to say, what the fuck are you doing? So we have some teething problems to go through, shall we say, because I have to figure out whether I'm working on their projects or they're helping me with my projects. So we got a little bit of we'll see what happens. I'm not overly in the most friendly version of modes on that one at the moment. But yes, it was released. So apparently,
if you ever want to talk to 2 guys who are all mission driven, man,
don't
24/7, we're the guys.
fucking tempt me. Don't tempt me.
Yeah, I give away shit all the time. I almost gave away some more shit today, and then I thought that Ryan might find out, and I'm like, fuck.
Look, I'm gonna give away plenty. We're gonna
Send me on the FR
road show. We're gonna go on the road as the world keeps reopening. If people want in person, we're gonna give free help, free training.
I just got admonished on the FR Secure side, I think by our COO, Renee, about, because I was doing some shit I shouldn't have been doing. I'm like, then don't have them call me. I mean, I'll take away fucking email. I don't know. Shit.
Oops. Don't run afoul.
Were you there, Ryan, in that all company meeting? We had an all company meeting, and it was on site. So this was pre-COVID. Maybe you weren't there yet.
I was in the last all company that we had on site for sure.
When I stood up in front of everybody and said, "No dickheads."
Yep.
Yeah, that's our rule. We have no dickheads.
We have
dickheads don't have to be males either.
Yeah,
I mean, dickheads.
Oh no, totally. Yeah.
What'd you say, Ryan? I'm sorry.
I said we had bacon and champagne, but no dickheads.
Nope. Zero tolerance.
Same thing. I mean, that's the whole logic for building this community. Apparently, we've got 100 already hit it since I put the announcement out a couple of hours ago. My concern is I'm having a little bit of a pitch battle inside the company to go, because they were like, oh, we only want leaders. I'm like, well, what about people that are going to be leaders or coming to be leaders? What about people that want to learn how to be? I'm like, yeah, we need to have some fucking conversations, guys. And the other thing, I think they're okay with it, and I know they're okay with it because they already agreed to it. God forbids if they change their mind, is anybody that signs up, there's no marketing to them. They're in an entirely separate little bit of the database, which will never, ever be marketed to. So yeah, if that holds true, I'll be okay.
That's cool. Yeah, never judge a book by a cover either, because when I look at myself, I think I look like a dickhead, but I'm not a dickhead. Like, if you talk to me, because it's like yeah. So don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
It might look like a dickhead, but not a dickhead. I don't think.
No
dickhead.
No, you guys wouldn't be my friends if you were dickheads.
No dickheads.
No dickheads.
No, let's not do that. All right, so money. Yeah, I got a bunch of money. No, I don't. I lied.
It's just what it is that The more I think about this, the more I interact with people, the more I continue to try to solve the same problem we're all trying to solve, right? Which is, how do we get people to start to do it different? It's too easy to spend my money on the wrong things. The industry has made it very easy for me to spend my money on the wrong things and very hard for me to spend my money on the right things. And that's part of what this whole roadshow concept is about. I want to make it simpler and easier for folks to know how to get to the resources, to do the basics, to have that pre-populated Excel template that's not, on some super sketchy website that's probably, loaded with malware. Yeah, please fill out the asset library, right? But I run into it every day at all levels where folks don't understand the basic steps of the process. So it becomes an insurmountable task. Almost always when I'm coaching folks through this, it's not about filling out a form. They can figure that out. It's about how to prioritize your assets so that you can start small and grow. Because the minute you tell somebody fill out the whole list, oh my God, that's a mountain. I have 10,000 some odd devices. You can kiss my ass and I'm never going to start.
Right.
Right. And go ahead.
No, let me go back to a comment you made, which is we make it easy to buy the wrong stuff, and we've made it harder to make the right choices.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the right choices are out there. The challenge is being able to find them. I Google, let's just take a perfect example. I Google endpoint, antivirus with new marketing. I Google that. I get 50, 100 different choices. And actually DNS, I was actually having a really good conversation with a DNS company out in Turkey a couple of nights ago. And we're talking about it. I'm like, guys, you realize how crowded the space is? And they're like, no, I'm like, there's 60 companies offering DNS solutions. I mean, there's probably a couple of amazing ones, but there's so many of them. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Number one, why haven't you collaborated with somebody rather than spinning your own option? And number two, 40 plus of them are probably a bunch of fucking numpties. So the harder isn't the fact that we've made it impossible for you to make the right choice. It's just, it really is the wood from the trees kind of mentality.
Well, and that goes back to standards and accountability. There's no quality. If I bought a light switch, if the light switch had the level of variability that the products in this, the quality and reliability of the products in this industry have, we'd all be fucked. You'd be at Home Depot going, I don't know, which one's gonna burn the house down? Because that's the one.
Yeah, no, actually, that's a really good point. Yeah, that's fucking good point.
There's no standardization of expectation of quality output. And we've talked about this on previous shows, and we contacted you, you reached out to that lawyer, and sure enough, it was confirmed that, they're knowingly breaking the law by selling faulty stuff. And it seems to be the only place where we, the consumer, find that to be acceptable.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got excited. I closed Zoom. You said money. I was like, whoa, no. What?
That's funny.
Yeah, see, you heard about money that you got, and then they just started clicking on shit.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, I think there's, it's hard to fight against people who have money and people who are in power, right? I mean, you have people like Microsoft and name it, right? All the big companies have new products every quarter, every couple times a year, every year, maybe. Always this churn, right? There's always this churn to make something new. Who gives a shit about the shit you already have that you're not even using correctly? Buy more shit, right? So you create this kind of lust, and then you have friends who have the new shit and they're bragging about their new shit. And the reason why they're bragging about their new shit isn't because they even know what their new shit is. It's because they want to feel good about the new shit they just bought. So if you're all impressed about the new shit that they just bought, you're like, well, fuck, that's really cool, man. I need that new shit too. I need some AI, blockchain, invisible process bullshit. I would really like to have some of that. So then you go out and buy that shit too. And now the herd is like, fuck, if you don't have the shit, the fuck you doing here? It's like,
Right.
well, I'm trying to configure my fucking firewall correctly. You know what I mean? So it's hard to fight against that, because the shit that we're trying to really get people to focus on is the basic fundamental shit. It's not sexy.
Nope.
Nobody gets all excited about doing risk assessments. Nobody gets all excited about doing asset management, but good fucking luck if you don't do it.
Telling you, the top 4 of the CIS will move your program further for less money than all the rest of the controls combined.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what do you know? FireEye's selling something cool. I'm going to go buy that.
I mean, I hear you. We all like a little.
Oh God! And as soon as you say anything to anybody on this fucking planet about that, you get hit with every other single one of the vultures out there. God forbids you say anything on an open forum or any. I mean, you're screwed at that point.
Well, they have the power to silence, right? If not silence, they have the power to create so much other noise that it just drowns you out.
Yep.
Well, that's, I mean, to Ryan's point, it's like, out there there are probably some good folks, no two ways about it.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell do they manage without having stupid budgets? How the hell do they manage to actually get themselves hurt? Honestly, we're going through that at the moment on the SciNet side. I'm used to doing the F2F conferences, the interface conferences. We used to do an EFM. We are going to do some SANS, some ISACA, some Cloud Security Alliance. But then the question is like, who else out there, one that we can support besides community, obviously, but who else out there can we get the word out to? We're not after the fortune sillies. We're after like everybody else that pretty much at times forgotten. It's like, who the hell, where do we go and talk to these people? Who's running the conference?
So to that end, because I'm struggling with the same thing, and what it's dawned on me is, so I've done this year a handful of virtual summits. Truth. That is very true.
That's fucking awesome. I love him.
So I've done a handful of virtual summits for the small business development fusion centers within the community.
Do you mind if I make a note of that?
Please do. They need your help too.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
And so that is kind of what inspired this whole roadshow concept, which is, why don't I go to the community centers? And if you work with these people, you can get the facilities at no charge. And you can do this in community centers. What do you really need? You need a PA. I need a mic and a freaking projector or a TV screen. Well, turns out those are everywhere. I did one right before I joined Security Studio. One of the last events I did for my previous company was at a retirement home where we were.
Yeah, I love those. Those are
but not for the old people. It was for HR people. It was something where it was a community-driven thing, and so the SHRM. It was a SHRM event, but it was held at a retirement home because they had this nice, community room. So they donated it, and then SHRM was able to do that as part of the community thing. We just got to get creative.
Hey, do you mind if I volunteer you guys for something else? Annette Warren's an amazing good friend. She's actually totally cool. She's president of like iSecure out in Rochester, New York. Mm-hmm. She just hit me up. For a couple of years, I've gone out there and done a talk, and she's looking to get a couple of others of us together to do a talk in July. It's on two of our favorite topics. I just read this. Looking for AI or zero trust.
Nice.
Help me.
Yeah, I'll take either one.
We need to do a panel. Fuck this. We're doing a panel. I'm going to tell it.
I like it.
Oh yeah.
I don't trust any of them.
I was watching, speaking of AI, I was watching, I watch these Senate testimony things because I'm always interested in like, what crazy shit is our government going to do next, right? What decisions are they going to make? What policies are they going to implement? Because they always invite they usually invite the people that created a lot of these fucking problems
Yeah.
to the things, right? And so they invited Twitter, Facebook,
Yep.
I don't know, whatever, to algorithms and amplification, how social media platforms design choices shape our discourse and our minds, right? And so a lot of the talk was about machine learning and algorithms, and it's 2.5 hours long, right? And I can put the link if you want to know, if you want to see it. It's actually fascinating. I love
I'll get cliff notes from
listening
you.
to how people twist shit to fit their, and so we all do it. And that's the fucking thing. And so when you look at machine learning and you look at, a lot of these assumptions that they've made, that's all bias that they entered into all these algorithms, and it's so fucked up. It's like, holy shit.
Well, and that's
You can't undo it.
And that's the thing. And I have a good friend who listens to the show, works in the ML space, and the bias of the models, like how did you arrive at your decision tree, right? That is such a critical part of that technology, that just like with security, where it was always the afterthought, right? It's get the model to produce a result. Yes, but how is that result weighted? What are the biases? Have you factored in and compensated for those biases? No. We just needed the result. We need the model to produce a result, right? We need the widget to be, but have you figured out how the hell you're going to secure the creepy robot dog that they just banned out of New York? Boston Dynamics lost a big contract.
Oh, it got banned?
They said, nope, it's done. They shut it down. It's
Why? Because it was only meant to
public
be
outrage. Public outrage. Don't be having no Black Mirror episode playing out on my street right now where I can see it.
Yeah. You have to socialize that shit a lot better than what they did.
No, what they did is they went into low-income housing communities and cut it loose on patrol without a freaking word to anybody in this climate.
Come on, they were just going to put it in the park. It was only meant to be in the freaking parks. That was it.
Started patrolling low-income housing, the projects. They took it to the projects and cut it loose.
I'm surprised people in the projects didn't just fucking take it, put it on rollers, and just go have fun with the fucking thing. You'd have ended up with Boston Dynamics dog fritters, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, ride it. Try to ride it.
No shit. Take the thing to pieces and sell the parts to the fucking Chinese. Have at it.
Dude, if I got my hands on that, I'm taking it home and I'm downloading the domestic settings, because they taught it to do laundry and dishes. Have you seen this?
I'm just gonna ride it.
They've got a domestic algorithm for this dog, for the Spot, the one that's got the crane head. Yeah, they got this thing doing fucking laundry and dishes.
Oh, hell yeah. I've been in the same boat. Yeah, shit. Put it back in the fucking projects and let the people do what they fucking want with it. You can't protect your stupid thing and you don't tell people and you do it like that, then do it.
I want to ride it.
Well, that's...
No. You want to ride the other one. You want to ride, the Army got it. It's a pack mule.
Yes.
You want that? You want to ride that one.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Really? Yeah, it's a dancing pack mule. That's why it doesn't fall over, because it's constantly in motion.
Fucking thing, yeah.
So you mentioned, Chris, this is out in Rochester. I got friends out in Rochester. Excellus is a really good customer of ours. The Blue Cross Blue Shield out there.
I gave Annette your names. Annette's awesome. She's she's just good people. Another one of those like good human being kind of people. Donna used to work there, and she went up to Atlantic Data Solutions or something. Another one. Hey, are we missing Rachel this evening? I haven't seen her speak up at all. Speaking about other VARs, before we get yelled at because we don't mention hers, but I haven't seen her this evening. Is she on?
Rachel, where's that? Rachel, where's that?
Is she here? I don't see her.
I don't see her either. Did we lose her? All right, I'm hitting Rachel up on LinkedIn. Well, actually, I'm going to hit her up.
I got her on Signal. I'll hit her up.
I'm tapped into her video at home. Do you want me to put that on?
I'm in the baby monitor. You want me to turn it on?
Yeah, you want me to talk to her through that? Wait, I'm in her Alexa too. Hold
on. Fun Alexa prank. Set a alarm for your spouse when you know you're going to be gone and out of town, to go off at like a ridiculous time and play some ridiculous music or have a saying that you've recorded.
Oh, that's cool. I like it. I'm not going to have an Alexa in the house, although this numpty here has bought himself a couple of those little speakers, the Siri speak, the iPod, HomePod speakers things.
Ooh, why you put
Yeah,
that in your house?
because I'm intrigued. I actually want to see what the music quality is like. And plus, also, you can do comms between the different locations. But I'm also going to, I haven't had a chance yet. I'm going to plug it into the network sniffer. I want to see what that thing's actually doing.
Firewall just released a new feature that'll show. So previously it showed you traffic that was allowed.
Yeah.
And now there's a report that shows you all the shit it's blocking. So you can see all the agencies tapping on the door. You can see all the different
Nice.
entities that have been compromised. Because in the schools, apparently the schools have been doing some really shady shit. I guess they've been buying some Celebrites and doing some other interesting things, and we actually have a First Amendment case coming up to the Supreme Court because of on-campus versus off-campus speech while being a student.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
That was
going to be interesting.
That's a different show for a different day, but
Yeah.
that was settled, right? That went to the Supreme Court, and that was settled. She does have the right to sue.
yeah.
Isn't it?
I didn't hear if it was settled or not. I know that was when I saw it. I think it was a day or two ago that I saw that it was pending. So I don't know if it's happened yet, but you know who does? The Googles.
I get my cases mixed up, so I have no idea. I can't remember. But yeah, I saw that. Very interesting. Where do you draw that boundary, right?
Real simple. When the bell rings. I'm noticing a growing trend of your free speech is not okay, but my free speech is. And this is something that's been on my heart actually, because it bothers me. Yes, people say outrageously stupid, awful, hurtful, terrible things. But the one thing that makes this place different from all the rest, okay, because free speech, like it exists today here, even in a semi-societally policed way, right, is still far more free than it is anywhere else. And really the First Amendment is the right to be offended. You have two fingers to plug into your two ears if you don't want to hear what somebody's saying. But we need to be real careful about telling people they don't have the right to say what they think. And if for no other reason than identifying the morons more easily. Because if you say you can't use that word, they won't stop being that way. They'll just find a different word.
Yeah.
Right. So we just
challenge is, yeah, the challenge is, or for me, and actually we went through this a couple of days ago. I remember talking with somebody about it, and we're talking online actually about it. And it's my freedom of speech was great when my audience was only the people on the street corner or my friends and family. My sphere of influence was restricted. The challenge we have now is we clump together. Number one, we clump together online. Number two, we have like-minded conversations in echo chambers. Number three, and number four, my sphere of influence for my freedom of speech is so much greater. I mean, it scares the crap out of me, just the amount of people that I have connecting to me. If all of a sudden I decide to go off on a mad rant about, I don't like people with the color eyes of, orange.
right.
And all of a sudden I give logical, in my eyes, logical reasons, whys and wherefores and all this kind of good stuff. That's way more corrosive than me just telling my friends or standing on the street corner. That's where
I agree.
I'm like, I don't know how far you can push that. I'm not disagreeing, but I guess I'm devil's advocate.
If accountability is in play, you have a lot less issue. See, we talked about this on the show many times. The analog digital human disconnect, where the barrier of the internet and my actions are one layer removed from my reality. Because Chris, your LinkedIn is tied to you, mine is tied to me. My social media handle is my name.
Right.
Because I believe in accountability. And you know what? Have I said dumb stuff? Yep. Have I done dumb stuff? Yep. Should I be held accountable for that? Yep. To a point. right? I also think, you know, there's limits on things too, that, you know, we need to, the whole right to be forgotten, you know, that whole deal. But the lack of direct accountability is what leads to the spewing of the insanity in a way where it is dangerous. If you add that accountability back in, people inherently start to put the governor on. I've been going out to the gas station. I have yet to see somebody behave at the gas station the way I know they behave on Twitter.
No, that's fair. That's okay. That is totally fair. For the most part, I mean, you're still going to get the numpties, you're still going to whatever it is. But yeah, that's fair.
You know, and I think part of why it's more, I don't think people are truly thinking anymore. I think it's just thought popped in head. I write it down. Well, if you're a human, 50% of your thoughts are absolute garbage.
Right.
It's just trash. Right. Yeah. And we dump it out. There's no, when you have to use your lips to say it, there's a different process at play than when you're using your thumbs.
Yeah, but okay, so play this one out, and because John said an interesting thing, which is censorship is always bad, even if it's Trump, especially if it's out. And actually, I would take the Trump out of that. Keep fucking politics out of that, because believe me, I don't care which side you're on. Both sets of fucking dimbats have said stupid shit. And I'm not a Trump person, but I will not hold him in any different light than I hold the other dingleberries. But especially if it's someone you disagree with. Sunlight's the best disinfectant. No, it isn't. I will argue it's not. Sunlight was the best disinfectant when we had to stand on the street corner and spew it. The fact that we can sit behind a computer anonymously and spew shit. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I was on LinkedIn. I was doing my LinkedIn surfing the other day, and I came across a post, and it probably belonged on Facebook, let's be honest. And it showed a sign, somebody's restaurant sign, and it's, you know, neither I or any of my employees are wearing masks because we don't believe it. We believe it's our health and our right to do what we want, yada, yada, yada. And if you don't believe it, well, fuck off. I'm like, okay, I actually don't agree with that. But to some degree, you can actually say what the hell you want and you can suffer the consequences. But the tirade of people that were commenting on it, because of how I think on the mask side of it, I mean, I'm looking there and I'm like, wow, I just got called a sheeple. I just got called an ingrate. I just got called a fuckwit. I'm getting called all of these things. And I'm watching, I'm like, part of me wants to respond. I don't need to get into a fucking flame war though. So I basically was like, I'm just going to delete it. I don't want to engage and I'm going to delete it. They're out there. Can't deal anything with it.
Never engage the trolls, Chris. Never engage the trolls.
And that was it. And some of it's trolls and some of it are probably people. And again, it's that cluster. To me, sunlight doesn't work.
It doesn't, because sunlight is physical and that cluster is digital.
Yeah. And I love.
So we need some digital bleach, because some of this digital DNA needs cleaning up.
Oh, give me an idea. Is that where my first dollar can go? Seriously, back to our topic.
Well,
can I get my first dollar for some digital bleach?
Right. But I do think that, and I say this in the context of money grabbing vendors that are predatory, but we've got to start to call these practices out somehow, some way. We've got to start to raise the awareness of this. The consumer is just not aware that these tactics and techniques are being used. They're not aware that these claims are unfounded. I think there's something to be had there, right? Is raising that awareness. Because folks are going to keep buying crap they shouldn't be buying, not because they think or know they shouldn't buy it, but because they think they should, because no one's told them different.
Or they have told them differently, but their sphere of influence isn't quite as great, or they are, shall we say, we have different ways of arguing. Let's just say, again, let's click on politics. Unfortunately, in a lot of circumstances, you end up with one individual who is more vocal, shall we say, more willing to sling the mud. Somebody else takes the high ground, and in a lot of eyes, unfortunately, they still lose. That whole concept of turn the other cheek. Good-ish, unless your opposition just keeps on going at you and they have a rabid pack of whatever's following them. That's And there's no easy solution to this, unfortunately. And especially, yeah, John, who's in charge of the digital bleach. Me, next motherfucking question. This is
yeah, no, and you're absolutely right.
not a democracy.
I don't know, something's got to change though, because if we keep going this way, it's, in my opinion, less than 5 years before the web is so tangled, so convoluted, quantum hits commercial capacity, that just further accelerates the nonsense. And
we had this talk, Gabrielle and I, we had this talk on the Wiser thing this week. We were talking about fakes, deep fake stuff. And I mean, we can download things onto the iPhone and onto our devices now that change our voice to be whoever you want it to be, can change our profile and our image very, very quickly, and not necessarily on the phone, but on cameras and stuff to change our image so I can look like somebody, talk like somebody, and keep things going. Now, I might not have the same eloquence or the same mannerisms, but I'm close enough that I can become the director of the FBI pretty fucking quickly, and I can do all sorts of good scams through video and audio now. And on one hand, it's cool. I can be Darth Vader, fucking brilliant. On the other hand, the fact I can be the director of the FBI and now call up 1,000 people and say very eloquently, "You owe me money" or whatever. And there's no way to recognize it. There's no way to police it. There's no easy way to stop it. What the fuck do we do?
Well, and this is Hollywood run afoul. That technology, publicly at least, has its roots in Hollywood wanting to bring back or regress the age of actors. To the best of my knowledge, that's the public source from which that technology started to really evolve and get the funding to grow.
Was ILM? I'm not sure if ILM started it. We only have to go back to, oh my God, what was the, all right, I'll get it in a minute. Shit, it's one of probably the most famous anime ones out there. Final Fantasy. I remember when Final Fantasy came out, what are we, 10, 15-ish? Somebody's going to have to correct me on the age on this one. And they deliberately modified the characters so they did not look so realistic. Now you fast forward to what they did in the Star Wars stuff with Carrie and
Carrie Fisher.
There we go, completely recreating her. And we've been doing it. I mean, Gollum, perfect example. I mean, yeah, we've been doing that stuff with the stop motion shenanigans not stop motion, the motion capture stuff for how many years now? So yeah, you're right. I don't know. That's an interesting one as to whose feet we lay that one at. Bless them.
Well, and it was never designed at the time. No one was thinking this would be misused. This is why the hacker is such a valuable asset in the world. Whether you have a criminal leaning or otherwise, hackers generally have curious minds that allow them to see ways in which the thing can be used differently. Right? Like I can't just look at one thing and see it as one thing. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like when I look at anything,
yeah,
I inherently already see it as its source components and other potential things. Like,
oh, I'm with you.
It's just the way I'm wired. I don't know if it's like true for you guys too, but like,
all right, okay. So here's a question then: should we stop innovation? Because I don't like that either. I love the fact that I can watch.
Hell no.
I can watch a modern version of the 2000 stuff, and I got Gollum. I don't actually have a person with a freaking mask going, "Oh, I am Gollum." Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Planet of the Apes. The first Planet of the Apes.
Okay, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Marvin, the paranoid android, was somebody in basically a tinfoil thing. Fast forward now, Marvin actually looks a little bit more effective, should we say? So I don't want to stop innovation, but I mean, somebody hit me up the other day, like, do we have to go back to that discussion about policing the internet to a point where we have to give everybody a fucking license before you're allowed on it? And I'm like, no, but.
Well, I think it gets there. And I think if we're not careful, it gets there looking a lot like China's model. So I think we got to get these vendors a little bit more under control with some of this stuff. We've got to start to ask better questions before doing business. And we need folks outside of our audience, outside of the island, to quote Rachel, to hear this, you know, I don't know what else to do, because the dollars should be going to the basics, the fundamentals, the foundations. And instead they're going to everything but.
Yeah, but okay, let's go back to the fake stuff. You know, I don't actually want to stop that. I love the idea of this stuff. I mean, I look at what I'm building. I would like to get to the point where I can retire to an AS400. I'm still working on it, and that's part of the reason I said fuck it to a lot of the work I'm doing, and have basically took a shotgun to a number of projects and a number of companies I was working with, because I want to get back to building my digital version of me. I want to put myself in an AS400 and hang out and see what I can do and see how that life of me evolves. I think I'm absolutely fascinated. I don't want to be part of the Borg. I still want to have some level of independence and all those other things. But should I stop doing that innovation? Because, you know,
hold on. You're separated. I do not believe in stifling innovation, but you can't just go get some Cemex. And you shouldn't be able to go get some deepfake. Well, you can, but the rest of us can't just go walk into Walgreens and get some Cemex. You shouldn't. I think we're reaching a point with some of this technology where its ability to cause more harm than good.
Too late.
Helpful? Yes. Is it used in ways that are helpful to the furthering of you know, commerce and society? Yeah.
Too late. I'm going back to the exact, and I don't have my phone with me, so I'm using my fucking iPad. It's too late. It's too late. This is fucking child's play compared to this.
Well, yeah.
So it's too late. The horse is already the horse hasn't just bolted and had family.
I disagree. If they can ban menthol cigarettes.
Oh yeah. Okay. I saw something. What the? Okay.
Yeah. Here's my only thing I'm going to say on this.
John, I didn't hear that. I heard it, but I didn't see it.
I'll be right back.
Carefully. That's all I'm going to say about it, is read what they're saying, because the motivation they're using is rooted in an idea that a certain class group of humans are unable to make decisions for themselves.
Why is it banning menthol? Oh, is this kids stuff?
Sure. Yeah, you should really read what got said. They mentioned kids. Yeah, that was part of what they mentioned.
What then? Fucking kids are gonna go in and just buy normal. Okay, why are they banning? Okay, why are they banning these things? It will ban all menthol cigarettes. Tell me why. Beginning Thursday. Oh, all right. Why is it doing that? Is it because? Is it? I have not.
Because it disproportionately affects certain communities.
Are we stopping? So here's my thing with menthols. At least they smell better than the normal fucking tobacco shit that's out there.
Either ban cigarettes altogether or leave it alone.
So hang on, the menthol cigarettes, which produce are playing an outsized role in hooking young people. No, they're not. You want to do that shit? Go fucking ban tobacco and be done with it, for God's sakes.
Well, that's my point. But there are things in the statement that I found quite objectionable, because I found it to be very offensive. Because it reads a very certain way.
Oh, including culture.
There we go. You saw it.
Oh, damn! You just profiled the. Ow.
Yep.
Ow.
Disgusting.
Ow. God damn.
Because that's effectively saying you cannot handle your own. Therefore, we must, because they didn't ban cigarettes. Just a certain kind.
Are they just pissed because somebody just got handed a jail sentence or something?
I don't know. I just know this does not help bring people together, and they now have created another criminal enterprise by doing this.
Dear Black America,
prohibition doesn't work.
No shit. Oh God! So we're gonna.
So yeah, it actually is cracking the lid on Pandora's box is what it's doing. Sorry, didn't mean to go all political here, but that one chapped my ass a little bit. And I can no longer, by the way,
the US cigarette market. How can they say it's going to decimate the market? Oh no, I don't have menthols. I'll have something else, or I'll go back to smoking the liquid stuff, which apparently is also, I mean, some of that stuff.
You want to ban something? Ban that e-vape shit. That's killing more people by the day than cigarettes combined.
Apparently, I mean, some of that shit's just nasty.
So
damn, I didn't. Well, I'd know because that's white people. Can't ban that. Lots of white people. Ow. Dear Black America, we apologize. We're taking away your one last good thing. You can't have a fucking menthol cigarette. What in hell's name were they doing?
I can't even believe they bothered to call that whole situation out like that, because that I don't know.
I would love to know.
The point I was making is, if you can do that,
yeah,
you can do this. If you can just swipe your little pen, boom, it's done. If this is the government we have, okay, cool. Well, why don't you swipe that pen and make kids a little bit safer? Why don't, and if you could and ride that train for cigarettes, then ride it for cybersecurity.
Ouch. I feel like I want to start stocking up on menthol cigarettes. I'm going to talk to Jesse tomorrow night at our.
They're going to be worth a fortune. They're going to be worth a fortune. There's going to be a very strong. My sister is going to flip when she can't get her cools.
Oh, seriously. I mean, good gods. I mean, there's going to be, I'm fuck this for Game of Soldiers. What can you buy on a daily bet? What are you allowed to buy before you piss off ATF again?
Well, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have people buying Marlboros, unrolling them, throwing some mint leaf in it, and rolling it back. You're going to have counterfeit menthols. You're going to have, they are about to open a disaster.
We need to start farming mint.
We're going to farm mint?
Farm mint. We need to start a fucking mint farm, because that, you're right. That's when and what we're gonna no. There's gonna be a roll. You're right. There's nothing illegal about buying. There's nothing illegal about unrolling and rolling, is there?
There's no, and you can buy tobacco in bulk to roll.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So that's it. We're basically
what we'll do is we'll sell menthol additive.
No. That's way too messy. Seriously, it's a pick your own. You come in, you can pick your mint leaves because they're perfectly legal. We're not talking cannabis here. We're talking actual high quality mint. Do you want proper Indian mint? Do you want mint European mint? What kind of mint would you like for your cigarettes, sir? Fuck, we could make, and we can dry it for you. We can actually hydrate it.
I want some lemon basil mint.
Oh, lemon basil Marlboros. Oh my fucking God. What do you think
Albert says hi.
Cute. Fuck it, we're doing that.
Albert.
I'm sending a message.
Oh, hi, Albert.
Fucking mint farm. By the way, Annette. So the pair of you, I don't know who Annette hit on which website, but Annette said she reached out to you guys. So I have no clue where, but Annette Warren had reached out to the pair of you somehow or other. So just a heads up. Say hi to her from me. I told her she was on the show.
I will.
Tim wants to add. No, Tim, I don't want to do that. I want to make it fun. I want to pick your own. And seriously, you pick your own, and if you come in with a secret word, you escort you to the back door, and you can put something other than mint green leaves in your fucking cigarettes.
All I know is when you ban things in this country that people like to ingest, you wind up on the black market. That's just how it goes. Prohibition doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Jesse wanted to do. Jesse wanted to go and grow. We were going to grow. What the fuck were we going to grow? Garlic. Do you know how much garlic is per bloody acre? It's like some stupid amount of money. So fuck that. We're doing mint. If they're going to go through with this FDA thing, we're doing mint.
We're enterprising, Evan.
Right on, man.
Make some new lines of revenue.
No shit.
Yeah, do this.
And actually, what we need to do those lines of revenue. Hang on, whoa. Stop. Hang on. We need a mint grow. Oh my God, we're gonna have grow houses all over the fucking place. Legal grow houses. We're growing mint, and we could, again, apparently we're knocking on the door of everybody that's not white in this country. So we need to find the inner cities. We need to basically take out a couple of houses, bring some of the people in to help work for us, and we'll grow mint in 3 of the houses. And in the 4th house, you can come in and roll your own. It's a do-it-yourself job. And this is all legal.
Yes.
There's no fuckery. This is legal. We ain't pissing anybody off.
I'm gonna do this on my free time.
You and I, seriously, we're gonna get right under everybody's fucking radar perfectly legally. We'll employ people to stand on street corners selling mint. So much fucking fun with this.
All right.
Everybody else who's listening in, we're gonna have fun with this.
I'm still trying to keep up with the other shit.
Yeah, that's my first dollar. Fuck you and your security. My first dollar's gone to a mint
Going
plant.
to a mint factory.
Yeah, no, a mint plant. You get one mint plant, sod it. A couple of months later, the damn stuff's all over the garden.
Cash money dollars.
No, so but for real, anybody that's listening that has a couple of dollars, you might want to look into sky water technology. Just saying. Just saying.
Did you see John Kittleton? People are going to be getting
fuck. What is it?
over pure mental.
869 days, guys. Come on, please.
Damn, that's come down a lot. When we first started doing this, it was, I want to say it was way over 1,000. I'm not sure if it was 1,100 and something, but it was way over 1,000.
Yeah. I mean, you can deep fake shit, do whatever the fuck you want.
I'm looking forward to coming down to work with you this fall.
Chris, we got to get you into Mexico.
Well, you can do it now, can't you?
Okay, so when I go through all my exit interviews as they get them set up, because apparently I'm not the only one that's fed up with people, I can. My only concern is on the other side of the fence, who's got a file. So that's the only thing I've got to be careful of.
Well, I can take care of that.
Yeah, I get it. I just got to be careful. I will be careful. I like the
It's
idea.
so easy to grease wheels.
I like the idea of coming in from the harbor. I got to be honest.
No, dude, it's fine. Listen. We'll get a container.
It's crazy what $20 will get you down there.
I don't want to be shipped in a container again.
It'll be nice. It'll be really nice. We'll outfit it. It'll have some luxury seating, big screen TV, good sound system.
Yeah. We'll have nice like white padded walls.
Right. Very comfortable.
And, you just got to wear a vest, because we don't want you to hurt yourself on the way down. The vest.
All right, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Tight, but it's okay. Yeah, 869 days. So just keep this shit together for them. And you were talking about speech. One of the things I use, I use it a lot, and I actually heard it from a rapper, believe it or not. And I don't listen to rap all that much, ever, really. My daughter does, because I guess it's a teen thing that they do. But it was about there's a difference between speech you hate and hate speech.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to somehow figure out what that difference is going to be, because there's lots and lots of speech that I hate, but I wouldn't put it in the category of hate speech.
Correct. And even
I let that stuff live. I just don't engage, right? I ignore it.
I'm going to advocate, while it is awful, even hate speech should still be protected by the First Amendment. It is today, and it should continue to be so. Yes, it is awful, but remember, that is the one thing that separates us. That's the one thing. It's the reason it's the first of the amendments. It's awful. It's terrible. It's hurtful. But if you take it away, you start to remove truth. And as you remove truth, you get closer to an Orwellian situation where people, because they're still going to operate, they're just going to use doublespeak. They're still going to do it be that way, but you won't have any means of identifying it because the common language has been stricken from them that you understood. No good comes from it. If you're going to have a truly free and open society, that means that the nut jobs are going to occasionally say nutty shit.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So how do you again, back to the physical world. I'm using you in this argument, which is back to the physical world. Got it. Nut job stands on street. We used to have Speaker's Corner in London. Nut job stands on Speaker's Corner, affects 100 people. I stand up on LinkedIn and I go on an absolute anti-Semitic rant. You know, I go and I can do that on Speaker's Corner, and 100 people will look at me, and 90 of them will go, "You're a nut job." 5 of them will be like, "I hate you because I am Jewish," and 5 of them will be like, maybe he's onto something. You do online, and I've got 20, 30, 40, 50, 100,000 people are going to look at me, and unfortunately, the ratio is such that quite a few of them would be like, "Oh, he's definitely onto something there," and
but you can't prevent shitty people by regulating their speech.
No, I can.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
I can, but I shouldn't. I can, but I shouldn't.
No, you can't. They will just do it in secret. Shitty people will be shitty. You can't trust me, Chris. If you genuinely know how to make shitty people not shitty, we need to connect offline.
Not shitty people, not shitty. I can stop the shitty people from talking in certain areas and certain forums. We could actually do
but then hold on.
Yeah.
You lose visibility into what it is they're saying.
Will not disagree.
You might want that visibility. That visibility might be the difference between knowing what's going on and having a chance. See, the problem is if you cut off the free speech, you cut off the opportunity to have dialogue.
Well, you also cut off the opportunity. This goes back to the agency work stuff. This goes back into, I don't like what I'm hearing, but I'm going to keep listening to it because I want to know if they're going to fucking do anything. If that speech turns into action.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm not advocating for hateful things. No, it's awful, but reality is what it is. And I get nervous because I know how this goes. That we have a pattern for this, guys. It started back in the 30s with these German guys.
Yeah. Well, okay, so hang on, hold that thought just for a second, because that's part of what's going on here. Richard said it. Where is it? Justices unanimously reaffirmed that there is effectively no hate speech exception to the free speech right. So now I don't do hate speech, I just do informed speech to say I don't like a particular people or class or region or religion or color of eye or whatever. How do we disseminate that?
So it goes back to people are going to say stuff. And here's the thing. What I've noticed is a pattern of reactionary behavior instead of an attempt to connect. So somebody says something awful. It's immediately, "Oh my God, you're garbage." It's not, "Hey, where's that coming from? Who wronged you? Where did you learn that? Who told you that?"
Right,
You're born. You know what you know? Zero.
Yeah.
Everything you know in your life today at your age to this minute is because somebody somewhere told it to you.
True.
And so when you run into these people who use hate speech, when you run into this, you can dismiss them as being less than human, which is what they're doing to others. So more of the same. Or you can start to try to understand, where is this actually coming from? Who hurt you that you now feel you need to hurt others? Because hurt people hurt people. And that's where this is. And I sent you guys a link a few weeks ago about the concept of one drop. And this came out of some friends of mine in the South, where I was trying to understand this cultural and embedded idea. Like, what, but explain it to me. And they're like, "Well, that's just the way it works." And I'm like, but how, but why, but who? Well, mama said, daddy said. Okay, well, where did they get it from? Where they, you pull that yarn, you pull that thread, and pretty soon you find out there was this idea introduced of any physical contact whatsoever with the other race resulted in a potential sickness. Like that was what was being taught. It's terrible. It's awful. We need to undo these things, but we can't ever get there to have those conversations to realize that their thinking is broken because their exposure is limited. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Actually, perfect example of this. Did you see in the news last couple of days, there was the school that has banned vaccination for its students and its staff.
Florida. Tim, I'm looking at you, buddy.
Because of the potential of vaccinated people infecting those that are not vaccinated, and they're
In a
being
negative way.
Yep.
By causing them to feel disparaged and less than and all that.
No. There were actual. You will infect them, like you will infect them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, we've gone past the metaphysical. We're into the
science is not well understood.
Apparently, they have proof and evidence and all sorts of
information. Well, Evan's got spreadsheets too, and so far no one's convinced me anything.
My spreadsheet's better than your spreadsheet. And your
it is. I swear to God, it is. It is so that it's. I've looked at this, and if you guys have noticed, I've kind of declined on my social media stuff, and it sucks because I need to do it for the work side of things. But I just hate being on social media because I'm like, oh my God, I just can't even with this.
Yeah.
And these are people that I respect. These are people that hold positions of power and authority in this world. And I'm like, I don't like any of this.
Yeah.
But it goes back to courtesy and decency seem to be absent online. Right? It's not there. And there's this failure to understand each other and where we're coming from and why we feel the way we feel. There's also a lack of taking time to learn the facts. The soundbite world, like people latch on to, and I think I've talked about this before. The first time you learn a piece of information, if it affects your vision of yourself, your identity, core held belief, you will latch on to it fiercely. And when confronted with irrefutable evidence to the contrary, you will double down on your wrong position. Yep, yeah. I don't care. The Martian man said it. No, there was never a Martian man. Oh, he came and he said the thing, and that's all there is to it, right?
Yep.
And I think part of what we're doing is we're being too confrontational. And to tie this back to tonight's topic in InfoSec, the way the vendors are engaging is it's a confrontational engagement. It's a predatory type of engagement. It's if you don't buy my tool, you out of business. You don't buy my tool. This is the FUD. FUD is very confrontational. I find the most effective relationships, whether they're interpersonal, societal, or business, are ones that are conversational.
Yeah, ironically enough, I just saw this with one of the groups I was with. There was they put out a video that they wanted some commentary, and thankfully somebody got to it before I did. It was the cyber ed board, and they're doing their whole own training program. And I started to watch this thing, and it was back to that, y'all are fucked unless you basically buy our education. I'm like, no, that's really not how it should work. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good solution. Actually, I do have a good solution, just nobody's going to like my solution, which is I get to monitor everything and make decisions.
But, and I've just been kind of sitting here listening because you get so much more out of fucking listening than you do talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. And there's not enough of that, I think that happens in the world, because I agree with so much of what you guys are saying. It's just try to take a minute. I mean, we're human beings, right? I mean, most people don't agree with most of the shit I do. My own wife doesn't, but she loves me and I love her. You know what I mean? And you take that out to the streets, and with the people you deal with. And, most people I don't like. I mean, I don't have a lot of friends because I don't like people, but I love them. I mean, it's different. And, you look at it in society and you're right. It gets very frustrating to see all these people spewing this shit that doesn't make any damn sense. Right. I mean, and it's everywhere, right? It's like, think before you fucking talk. Take a minute, stop, listen, think before my dad used to actually almost beat that into me when I was a kid, and I'm grateful for it. Now, I didn't like it when I was getting it, but you see people use words like, always, or, rampant, do you know what the fuck those words mean? Because this shit isn't like that. right? It's not rampant. It happens often, but it's a big fucking world. So you'd expect that shit. It's probably not going to happen to you. Not today, someday, yes, get prepared, but it's, and, not listening to other people. Most of the people I listen to are people I don't agree with, and I like it, actually. I mean, do you think people can get to a point where you actually enjoy listening to people that you don't agree with so that you can get a different perspective and maybe broaden your own fucking horizons, maybe understand the world a little bit fucking better? Or are you so fucking narrow-minded that you think your view of the world is the only valid view of the world and everybody else is fucking nuts? Because if that's what you're thinking, I'd kind of like to beat you.
All right, I'm devil's advocating this one to a degree. Not all of it, but some of it.
Okay.
And I'm going to.
This will be fun.
No, and I'm going to, because here's the thing. The three of us don't agree on everything. By far enough. I mean, we've had conversations where I'm like, yeah, and you're probably the same way with me. However, we can do it respectfully. That's my caveat. I will not listen to somebody that I don't agree with if they are not being respectful in how they are arguing their position, or they're not being respectful in what they're saying. And unfortunately, politicians, and again, I am tarring everybody with the same brush on this one. Politicians are unfortunately some of the worst perpetrators of that. If rather than arguing their position from a position of the best knowledge they have, they'll go on the attack on the opposition. So again, I'll go back to the mask conversation on LinkedIn that I saw. Rather than saying, hey, look, I actually don't want to wear a mask because of this, this, and this. I don't believe so because of this, this, and this. Their version of what they think is I'm okay. I'm happy to listen to that. But if your reason for not wearing a mask is because you believe everybody else is a fucking sheeple and blah, 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 then I have a problem with that. And it's the same thing the other way around. If I look at you and go, oh my God, and if I go like the people that don't wear masks are the biggest ignoramuses and the biggest this and the biggest this, nobody should listen to me. But if I'm like, look, I don't agree with you not wearing it because of A, B, C, and D, and I can argue the point in an articulate, respectful manner, then I think I'm okay with it.
And I'm not one who's going to tell you that you need to change the way you operate either, but I operate different, and I think there's room in the world for both of it, right? And there's areas where there's enough respect and love and and things that we value each other, and we keep that thing going, because there's a lot of people that I disagree with that are spewing a bunch of shit, that are not respectful. And I do choose to still listen because I want to understand where the fuck you're getting your information. And there will be times when I will engage, usually not on a public, not on Twitter or, any of that bullshit. Because how the fuck am I going to make a case in 140 characters? Are you fucking nuts?
No, fair comment.
This requires a dialogue, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll reach out and I'm like, hey, I understand you got this, this guy, you got this point of view. Explain it to me. Assume that I don't agree with you and try to convert me into your bullshit.
No, there's that whole concept, and we've kind of touched on this a little bit, and we've said it in a few places, walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. And I think if you can do that,
absolutely, and
come to the table and go, hey, I get it. I listen, I understand. You've got more patience than I have. And I think that probably goes without, I would argue you've got way more patience. I'm not good at listening to people who are on a tirade, especially if it's something that's like an edgy point to me. I'll be honest, I'll shut it down, I'll turn it off. I'll maybe go do my own research on it. I'll look at some other things, and then I'll come back to it or somebody else different. You, I think, have got more patience. You care for people more than I do. I think that's the other part of it as well. And you just do. You're nicer than I am. It's as simple as
he is a nice guy.
He is. He is. Like, seriously.
See, no dickhead. No dickhead. But I do like. Well, and the reason why is because I figure we have two options where this road leads, right? I mean, if you have some vision outside of just like what's happening right now, where this leads is I'm going to fucking kill you, or you're going to fucking kill me. And that's probably the reason why I'm going to kill you. Even though I like you, even though I love you, if you're going to kill me, I'm going to get there first.
Going to get the first shot in.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
and you look at our politicians. I mean, you bring up politicians and you talk about walking a mile in our shoes. None of these fuckers have ever walked a mile in my shoes. You have no idea what it's like to fucking go out there every day, bust my ass. You have no idea what it's like for people that are living in these communities that are being oppressed or are being used or are being whatever. You've never walked in the, you know, even like, you know, people that, what's that lady from California who was here at the protests? What was her name?
Oh, the one that got, not the one that got herself arrested inside or something, was it?
No, she was telling them to become more confrontational
Oh, that was it.
in the riots or not in the protests or whatever. But, you know, even that, you know, you haven't walked in these shoes.
Right.
And so, and then you couple that with the fact that why are you, you know, what's a politician's number one job? It's not to serve me.
It's to get reelected.
It's to get reelected. And what's the easiest way for you to get reelected? Is to control me. It's to control my income. It's to control my way of life. It's to manipulate me. It's to fucking lie to me. And then when you see these two fucking politicians that are going after, you know, that are going for election, they rarely go after the actual issues that affect me. Instead, they're fucking fighting each other.
Right.
Trying to convince me which one of these is less evil. And that's the one I should vote for. So anyway, I'm on that soapbox, but fuck politicians. It wasn't designed this way. We weren't designed to be represented by lifelong, they call themselves public servants.
Yeah,
Fuck, the only one you're serving is you.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm
done with that. I won't talk anymore about that. Sorry.
No, hey,
it's legit because it fits what I'm talking about tonight. So politicians decide to give all this money, no guidance, no guidelines, no, you know,
right,
for how to here's a bunch of fucking money you didn't have yesterday. Human beings spend free money like it's free money.
Yes.
If you ask any criminal who has made any amount of money in crime, okay, and I'm definitely not speaking from personal experience. If you've ever made money off of crime, easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
Okay, and unless you're Pablo Escobar and pushing enough volume that the money just literally is raining from the sky, and you got to figure out what the hell to do with it because you've run out of real estate.
Yeah.
To house it, right? Easy come, easy go. And grant money and things like that, no different. No wonder everybody got that COVID check, acted like, you know, it was a lotto. It was supposed to pay your rent. I promise, very few people used it to pay their rent. It was supposed to cover groceries. I guarantee you, very few people. A lot of people got new TVs.
Cars. Cars have been. I didn't realize. I was actually talking to a couple of places like we can't keep stock in. I'm like,
well, part of that's the supply. You cannot shut off China for 6 months and expect there not to be some kind of supply chain impact.
Well, that and no, this is used car market. Oh yeah, I guess it's trickle down. Yeah, okay. But again, same thing. People have been moving their checks
from China down for 6 months. So my favorite meme about this was a pickup truck with like 4 sticks of lumber. And it goes, I don't like to brag about my wealth, but I just picked up these bad boys.
Right.
Have y'all seen the price of lumber?
Woo! Oh, don't even. Stupid.
But everything's getting stupid. If you, by the way, listeners, if you were thinking about getting a laptop between now and like 8 years from now, you should probably just go ahead and buy one now because that shit's about to get really, really expensive.
Oh my God, no shit. Everything. I mean, cars. I mean, you look at the brand new car lots with the chip architectures, and yeah, the fact they can't supply. Yeah, that's right. The laptops is getting it done. Yeah, no shit.
I'm looking at cars right now, and it's an interesting thing.
Well, especially you think about it. I mean, there's 100+ laptops worth of electronics in one car.
Right.
And Ford selling a brand
most
new.
Most of them completely unnecessary.
You know, it depends on what car it is.
No, it doesn't, Chris.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No, the display in the headrest does not affect the drivability.
Damn right it does. Hey, I want the computer to know exactly what massage setting my ass needs exactly when and how long it needs to be. I need that laptop computer to tell my ass exactly.
I drove one of your cars. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I went out to visit Chris and I got to drive one of his cars. And as part of that experience, there was about a 10-minute training session on this button does this and this button does that. And this, if you turn the knob this way, is going to do this. But if you turn the knob that way, it's going to do this. Oh, wait, but you got to double tap the center button and then over on the knob twice, back once. It felt like I was trying to hack Contra. Up, down, left, right, AB, select, start.
Oh, you have a good point.
But it was a hoot. And my wife was terrified of me touching any of the. She's like, "Don't touch the buttons."
And again, probably a third of those computers are making sure the damn thing stays on the ground in the right direction, preferably with most of the wheels on the using tarmac.
I only made her go once.
Oh man, that thing was fun.
That thing was a blast, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm excited though to see what you bring to the grounds. I don't know if you're gonna be rolling in the luxury RV, if you're coming in.
I'm not sure what the plan is. I honestly don't know what the plan is. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the RV and the situation there. And now that it's gone legal, I can't say too much for all the obvious reasons. But
right. Well, I intend to drive. I originally intended to drive the Santa Fe. However, given my recent experience with it, I feel like by the time the 50th episode rolls around, I will be in something different. Are
you going to trade the Santa Fe in? And are you planning on trading?
I was already planning to do it. So here's where I'm at. Loan amount, vehicle amount, pretty much 1-to-1.
So now it's just negotiating how much we can
wash my hands of this. I'm out. I don't want this one anymore.
Yep.
I had gotten it on a bad debt on a previous one that I had rolled over.
Yep.
Right. It was one of those deals. So I didn't get the good rates. I got I paid a stupidly high car payment for not a stupidly high car.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, I just kind of want to be done with that.
Yeah. It's, I don't know which one I'll turn up in. Well, we'll have to see. You're right. I honestly have no clue if it's, honestly don't. Because Jess is like, you realize we're probably going to end up sleeping down at mum and dad's, or mum's house, not dad's house. We'll sleep down at his mum's house. So the chances are we might end up being down there. And if that's the case, then it's going to be a toss up as to whether we bring the civilized, basically the sofa on wheels. I might have something else by then as well. We'll have to see. Or we might end up bringing one of the big things out because he wants to haul back tractors. So to be determined.
Well, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I might have the crazy one. We'll see. Who knows? We'll be out there, probably trailing a few police cars at the same time. Don't my bloody luck.
I mean, depends on how those exit interviews go.
Oh, don't even go on that one.
So, what do you think? I'm guessing at least a year, possibly 5.
Before I can.
That you get a bonus accessory in your life.
We'll have to see what happens on that one. I didn't show you this, and we are recording it, so it'll only be up for a couple of seconds. Actually, no, I'm not.
No, just whatever you were just thinking. Yeah. The answer is no.
My cat card, for somehow or other this weekend, my cat card spontaneously combusted. It was absolutely amazing. I was talking with Jesse, and we were having a fairly heated, animated conversation, and all of a sudden, my cat card just spontaneously combusted. Thankfully, it was outside of my wallet. It just, burst into flames. I did manage to get a picture or two of it as it was burst into flames. Just like one of those freakish kind of things. Yeah. So to be part of the agency. Yeah, they were like, "Where they're back." I'm like, "No, it's in Chrome's."
I got one of those laying around somewhere. I'll have to dig
this is interesting.
Bring it to the show.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Money, first dollar spent. I'm serious. My first dollar is going to fucking mint farm.
The last piece I want to impart that I wanted to make sure was a message that got in tonight's show. Predatory vendors. So there's a lot of really shitty vendors out there.
No,
please don't confuse a predatory vendor for a salesperson that hasn't realized that the sales world has changed. But a predatory vendor is one who's going to come at you in an overly aggressive manner. They're gonna be basically trying to sell you on the idea that their solution and their solution alone solves all or most of your concern. There's a lot of money that's going to start flying around. Biden just signed another executive order opening up a ton of revenue for cybersecurity initiatives. Now that's going to affect federal government. You know, the general citizenry and small businesses are going to get this money, at least not in this round. However, we all know that the small business infrastructure is what the nation states are using to conduct their attacks. So at some point, I would gather that they'll eventually wake up to that and it'll become a matter of national security. And what gives me confidence in that assumption is that the FBI has been actively patching private companies' devices. So, you know, there might be a precedent already set. I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm saying. And with that is going to come the shit that Evan talked about earlier from these Senate committees. You bring in the vultures and you show them a kill, they're going to go for it. And they don't care what happens. They don't care about the damage. They still get to play not it. Even after SolarWinds, even after all of this, they still get to play the not it game.
Right.
So those of you that listen, I know the majority of our listeners, if not all of them, are security professionals of some degree or another. Tell your friends and family, you got a brother-in-law that owns a business. He needs a conversation. Maybe you don't talk work, you know, at family events or something, but he needs a conversation, right? We need to start to do more. You got a LinkedIn profile, write a post about this. You've got a Twitter feed, do a post about this. You, the listener right now, you, the person who thinks that maybe you got imposter syndrome, maybe you're new in the industry, maybe you don't think you have a voice, maybe you think nobody cares to listen, go ahead and say something anyways. Right. And if enough of us do that, we will actually start to get ahead of this. We will start to affect change, but we have to be brave enough and confident enough to be able to just throw something out there. So that's my ask and by the way, I want to thank all of you. I heard through the grapevine, we hit 500 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw that. Evan, you put something out. I'm like, holy, how the hell did we do that?
That's crazy. So
I don't know.
To the 500 of you that are listening, write something about this. Tell somebody about this. Do something at least once this year to help raise awareness that the basics, the foundations, the fundamentals, that's what they should be doing. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people ask me what they should do, what Mr. Security guy, you know these things. I got a call the other day about I bought a laptop and it's got a Blu-ray player and it's not playing Blu-rays. What do I do? Right? And I use that opportunity to troubleshoot and fix their Blu-ray for them and got them to do multi-factor.
Attaboy.
That's pretty awesome.
Right? Use those opportunities.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what else to do. I'm open. Anybody in chat got ideas? I'm open to any idea that works.
I saw an interesting conversation. I haven't unpacked it all yet. I was actually going to go dig into it. I saw an interesting conversation when somebody was talking about awareness. Again, back to that first dollar point of yours, and they were arguing, and I need to go back and find it because I've got to go look for it. And they were arguing that the first dollar actually should not be spent on the human, shouldn't be spent on human education. I'm like, ooh, I want to go unpack this one. And they weren't hyping a company because I know who they work for, and it wasn't like an awareness type or an endpoint or any of that kind of an organization. And I'm intrigued because I want to go take a look at it, because for me, that to some degree, at least on first blush, flies in the face of educating the human and goes back to some of the annoying commentary I've had, which is, well, fuck them all. They can't look after themselves. I'm going to build a machine that can. And until then, you better climb over the dead bodies to get to your machine. So I'm really intrigued to see where this one's going, if it's like an addition to the rant or if it's a different way of looking at things.
You know, it's interesting. I actually would not spend my first dollar on the human. Myself.
Where are you putting it? I'm intrigued. Where are you going to put your first dollar? I'm
Where
actually.
do I put my first dollar?
Yeah.
What in the fuck do I have?
Ah, there we go. Yeah,
What the
no, yeah,
fuck do I even have?
yeah.
My
There we go.
who's, my what's, my why's, my where's, my when's in my house.
Yeah,
And
there we
until
go.
I know that,
Yep.
I'm not spending it anywhere else.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep, I like that. That makes
I
perfect sense.
need to know those things. I need my 5 W's and an H.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
5 W's and an H, man. It's the secret sauce that makes for good security. Because now I know who I need to train on what and how. I know where my crown jewels are. I know where my shit I don't really care about is. I know where the things I shouldn't be touching, because if I do, they're going to burst into flames live. They go on their own VLAN. Right? Like, I can't do segmentation. I can't do isolation. I can't do proper management of traffic and permissions and RBAC and ABAC and all the layers that I want to apply until I'm clear on my who's, my what's, my where's, my when's, my why's, my how's.
All right, let me caveat that one. Okay, so I'm going to challenge that.
Okay.
Some of your best assets to help you understand all of that, because you're not necessarily going to do it on, you know where I'm going with this.
I do, but I don't have to spend money on them. They can provide that to me while I'm spending money on the activity of collecting that data, which is separate than spending money on their training, which I will design after collecting their data.
I counter your counter.
Okay.
By saying, if I don't know why you're asking the questions, I might necessarily
because the business. No, the business. So we're here to do business. We need to make money. We support the business. So these questions are rooted in helping you to do more for the business, faster, cheaper, easier, and more securely.
All right. Okay. I'm still trying to get you to spend money on the other side. Just
I can't yet. I'm not there because I'm not going to do blanket awareness training. That is the most useless waste of my time and my money.
But yeah, I'm not talking about blanket awareness training. I'm even talking about helping the business understand what, I mean, to some degree, this is free. We're just talking semantics. Let's be perfectly honest.
Right. Yeah, a lot of it is free. A lot of it is
but
just
semantics are really important. Semantics are meanings of words. So
okay, that's very true. No, that's fair.
Devil's in the details.
It is, because in theory, if I've done my job properly, the communication that we have is free. And if I can communicate effectively why I'm asking you the W's and the H's,
right,
then you're right, I don't need to spend money. But if I can't do that effectively, there's almost an argument to say I've almost got to do a PR campaign these days to tell you why I'm having to do the things I have to do.
Fine. That to me falls in the same budget line item as discovery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yep. Because I need cooperation. And if I have to go on a PR campaign to build cooperation in order to conduct my discovery, so be it. Yeah. And let's be honest, gentlemen, the three of us, how many times have you walked in a room, the one guy hired you, 10 people in there that don't want you to be anywhere near that fucking room. And what do you got to do? You have got to work the room and build the trust and figure out your silent dissenters and figure out your supporters and figure out the confused person that's like, so it's not about telling me I did a bad job. No, it's not about saying that you did. Okay, now I'm in support of this. How much of the first 3 hours of any engagement you've done in your career
public relations
has been
you are 100
setting up the room?
You're 100% right.
So
all right,
so that's still people.
It is, but line item per Chris's comment about in the context in which you were saying about spending on people had to do with specific trainings and things of that nature. What I'm suggesting is you spend the money on the activities that allow you to baseline, build relationships, establish inventory, all as one cohesive unit. And from that, you have all the outputs necessary to plan the rest of your security program, your awareness.
You're still going to have to start with people.
So that first dollar is spent on coffee and donuts.
You're still going to have to start with people because nobody's going to let you do that.
I will.
You have to tell executive management, hey, brother, we got to do this shit, and this is the reason why.
But that's a different context than what
Chris education. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
But we don't have to spend money on it. He has got a point. We don't have to spend money on that. That's us.
I don't know. I'm charging the shit out of them. They got a lot of money.
giving you that forensic auditor bill rate. Here you go.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What'd you find? Nothing. You owe me.
But I like to start off, I mean, it's like, you start off, I won't engage with customers anymore. Well, I don't anymore anyway. I mean, you get people who do it, but it's without executive it's their security program. It's not my security program. I can beat my head against the wall all day long, but I'm not the one who's on the hook here. You are. So, and they don't know that. So I think you have to start there. And then, because we got to be in alignment with the business. We have to help you make more money. I don't know how many times I've had CEOs ask me, is this going to make me more money? Because that's what they want. I'm like, yes, it will make you more money. Oh, really? How will that be? Well, every dollar that we invest, we can use for, as a market differentiator. I mean, you've seen the news just like I have. You also, if you know that complexity is the worst enemy of security, there's opportunities to streamline processes all over the fucking place and make this more money. You know what I mean?
So then I'm gonna recant and restate. I would spend my first dollar on culture. So given Evan's arguments and your counterpoints, Chris, then if the journey of discovery begins with understanding, then I spend my first dollar on culture.
Mm-hmm. Tea and biscuits, coffee and donuts, scones and something, chai.
Come take your S to me so I can show you how to keep your kids safe online.
Yeah, that's really big too.
Yeah. No, you're right.
There. Yeah, it could be coffee, it could be tea and biscuits. I prefer, whiskey and weed, but hey, everybody their own thing. But you have
this dollar bill. There's better be fucking big dollar bill.
I talked about this earlier this week. I was interviewed for the Human-Centered Security Podcast. And part of what I talked about on that was the need to build a relationship around the topic. You have to connect on an individual level. It can't be about the corporation. It can't be about these ethereal groupings and hierarchies. It must be an individual, personal connection. Without that, you can't establish culture. Without culture, your security program is going to fail every step of the way. Mm-hmm. I don't care how much sock you got. I don't care. It goes back to the meme. In this corner, I've got this, that, the next thing, 10 other IPS, IDS, laser cats. And in this corner, I got Dave. Right. And so, yeah, I guess culture then, I had an interesting conversation with a lady that runs a business that specializes in creating security culture within organizations. You know her, Linda.
Oh, hang on. Which Linda?
Rust. You sent her my way, so you know her somehow, some way.
I know. Yep. All right. Now I know which one you're on about.
Yeah. Fascinating concept, right?
Yep.
Because what is it? Culture eats strategy for breakfast?
I think so. Yeah, pretty much that.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Hey, I wanted, is your 5 W's, 5W and
an H.
I like that. We need that. That needs, oh yeah, there we go. 5 W's and 1 H.
It's you should, so seriously, I apply this framework to my life.
No, I'm in the same boat. I'm in a slightly different mode. Mine's the OODA side of the world, but I'm totally with you on the 5 W's thing. I don't apply it probably as well as I should do in circumstances, but when I'm actually,
for you, Chris, I'm going to add a letter. Okay. So when it comes to applying it to life, it's 5 W's, 1 H, and 1 N. And that N is for no.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah. I know.
No. Right?
I know. Yeah.
Sometimes I look at the what, the when, the where, the how, the what, the wow, all this stuff, and I go, no.
No. That is a word. Here's the problem. I
It's
don't
an
learn it. I
awesome
don't
word,
learn it
man.
until I get pushed too far, and then it comes out, and it comes out pretty nasty. Not nasty. It comes out pretty bluntly.
So I found that if my yes is not an enthusiastic yes, it should probably be a no.
Well, so my tolerance for all of my grouchiness and grumpiness and all this stupid shit, my tolerance is actually pretty high for many things. And I think what it is,
Tolerance already indicates that it's an unpleasant experience.
ooh, that's a really interesting way of looking at it.
I don't tolerate things, I embrace them and I enjoy them. And if I don't enjoy them, I don't do them. As much as I can. Life is what it is. Did I embrace going to the dealer today to drop off my car to, pay God knows what, or find out it's not covered or whatever the story could be? So here's what I did. I walked in to an unpleasant situation with joy in my heart. And I took that opportunity to make a new relationship with the guy at the counter. I crack a couple of jokes. He smiles. I add a little value to his day.
Yeah, no, that's
My misery, right? I think all too often we say yes to things because we feel obligated, because we want to be accepted, and I'm wondering how much of that ties back into how people spend their money too, by the way. But we say yes to these things. Like, so you get a great sales guy on the call, he makes you feel good about you, and then he's like, hey, so you want to buy this? And you're feeling great. You got some good compliments.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I mean, that's, the human, yes, I totally get that logic.
So I don't know. I just know that no is a really awesome word. And if I myself personally, if I'm not enthusiastically saying yes, I really need to ask myself, why the yes then? Because when I'm into it, I'm like, woo, yeah, let's do that. You guys are like, hey, we're going to do this, the meetup for the 50th.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I didn't even have to think about it, right? That was an automatic yes. I'm enthusiastic and I'm excited. There's lots of things that I've said yes to in my life that I said yes to for 100 other reasons other than I was excited about it.
Good point. Yeah, I can't disagree. Similar thing. Use of words, definitely interesting, especially with the tolerated, because cards on the table and people aren't here. So I mean, I'm stepping away from Wiser. I have 2 more webinars to do and then I'm done. Because my tolerances were pushed too far. I've stepped away from Trusona because they absolutely screwed up on a conference, like badly, and I didn't have a level of forgiveness left in me, partly because I was hit up by a bunch of other things. I've stepped away from one of the startups I was helping out, because for 12 months we've been spinning wheels and pivoting, and I stepped away from another one because I don't have the time to give. And so, I mean, I think I've stepped away from 4 or 5. And then the government thing was because we shipped some stuff from out of the country into the country. One shipment got through, the second shipment didn't get through. And I got a nasty gram from Customs and Border, and then got another nasty gram from DHS. And I'm like, you'd be fucking kidding me. Do you realize what we're actually doing with these things is what it says on the fucking label, not what everybody else is thinking with these fucking things?
Right.
We don't care. And this, I'm like, you guys know how much I fucking help you on 6 other layers. And by the way, 4 other fucking agencies as well. And I ended up going down to them on Tuesday, handing over the items we'd shipped in, covered in all the shit that we'd done with them, and said, fucking done with you. You're the only person that's actually brought this. And that's what I fucking told you, and you didn't believe me. So we are done.
Right.
Tolerance,
Well, what's interesting about that word, tolerance?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take an automotive approach for a second. What does tolerance indicate in an automotive setting? Let's just focus on the internal combustion engine for a second.
You have tolerances, spark plugs, perfect example. Well, old ways of doing spark plugs.
Maximum and minimum operational boundaries. And if
true. Okay, that's fair. Yep, depending upon the thing.
Catastrophe. Right?
Yeah, well, that's
if you fuck up the tolerances on those cams.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be fun.
No more motor, right? I don't know, man, just personal friend to friend.
Yeah.
Tolerating things is a high energy drain activity.
You're hitting something that's actually going to go noodle on for a while, because that's typically how I approach not everything, but quite a lot of things. And it's not done in a bad way, and it's not done in a whatever. It's like, it's that half empty, half full conversation. I'm actually operating in a fairly decent place until you start pissing me off, at which point in time it drains and drains and drains, and then fuck, I'm done. I will not, don't have the time to fill it back up, and we are done.
Yep.
And rarely, if ever, do I have a second stab at it. Yeah, interesting. And to me, that's like the tolerance thing. It's like, all right, I put up with this, okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
You're right, though.
I mean, we all gotta, like my old man said, life is a shit sandwich and everybody's got to take a bite. Which corner are you starting with?
Yeah.
I know, but just saying, because I care. I don't like to see you guys get frayed. I don't like to see Evan get frayed. I've seen him do it once or twice. It's not fun. I don't like to see you get frayed. You guys haven't noticed? I don't fray.
I'm not afraid.
Not afraid.
I'm afraid of shit, man. Hell.
I did make friends last Thursday night. I did make friends. I actually went, I think I told you guys, because I sent you guys a picture. I went out for a drive. I made friends with the policeman at some ungodly hour of the morning. I was like,
oh, yeah, well, that happens.
It does. A totally nice guy. Very, very nice guy. Had a long conversation.
Walk away with some papers?
No papers. No papers.
Oh, nice.
A very, very large boulder in the middle of the road with a Mercedes, very, very close, a little closer to it than I really wanted to be at the time.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, about that ice, that'll get you.
Yeah, Boulder Canyon apparently isn't known for going to Boulder. It's something very different.
Remind me at the 50th to tell you my favorite police interaction story. I will not tell it here on the podcast, but I will tell it in person.
Deal. What do I bring? Oh, hey, yeah, that's a good point. Everybody who is coming to this thing, this is an open conversation. Everybody who's coming to this thing, send me on either Signal or text message me or fucking find me some way or the other. Alcoholic choices. For those of you that drink, send me your alcoholic choices, because I'm bringing whatever I bring with me vehicle wise will have enough space. I'll probably bring the large case with me, which will take 120 different bottles of something or other. And then for those of you that don't want alcohol, send me whatever you do want. I'll bring tea and I'll bring all sorts of intro. Oh, yeah.
If you can get it. I cannot get it right now. It is very hard to get.
Actually, I think I still here. Keep that conversation going. I know we're running into 2 hours. Keep the conversation going for a second.
So you want to talk about?
Have you enjoyed listening tonight? I know you
enjoyed listening.
You go. I love it, because some episodes you listen, and some episodes you're more vocal. I like the back and forth.
Yeah, man. I like learning. I learn when people are talking and I'm not talking, and I also, sometimes I intentionally try not to control the dialogue to see where it goes. Right. I mean, there's all kinds of new ideas that come out when people, intelligent, respectful people engage in a dialogue. It's nice to just observe it,
Hey, that's still got the wax on it. What in the?
Ooh, look at that.
I'll bring one with me.
I'm just saying, I mean.
I'll bring one with me.
Oh, you're a saint.
Oh, yeah.
I got a store here in town that's selling them for $150 a bottle.
Holy shit.
It is really good. It is not that good.
Yeah.
I'll tell Chris, my local liquor store has 6 bottles.
Yeah.
They want $150 a bottle.
Ow.
Isn't that outrageous? I won't pay it. It's not.
Ow, it's only 30, 40, $50 a bottle or something, like normal price.
Right.
Holy.
Between 40 and 60 in the city here.
Yeah,
is what the going rate is.
Wow. God damn it.
And that's why they got 6 bottles, because nobody's paying $150 for that.
Well, no shit. I mean, I guess There are sometimes I don't mind paying a little bit extra for something. I can deal with that. I mean, it is what it is. Actually, it's like watches. I mean, you guys know that we're building up the watch collection so that we can start the whole house. And the Rolexes. I mean, unfortunately, I got a couple from the times that they weren't stupid prices. But I mean, I just saw one. I have a deep sea, and I love my deep sea. It's a beautiful. I'm really happy with it. And it was a chunk of change, but they just the watch place up the road just had one of the James Cameron ones in. So same as mine, but just a really nice dial in it. Retail on that is 12, like 12.3 or something like that. I'm seeing them on the used market for 17 and a half. And even the subs, like the Submariners, are 8, 11, 12, 13, 8 to 13, and those things are going like 18 to 20. Brand new used market. I mean, it's ridiculous at the moment, like absolutely fucking nuts.
Silly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're right up on the hour here, so I'm gonna give my closing piece. I gotta rest up. I got an agenda tomorrow, but when you get your money, and all of us will get more money this year because all of us are going to get letters from our insurance company this year demanding that we do certain things. So you're going to see budget increases. Every single one of you will see a budget increase for your cybersecurity spend this year. I guarantee it. When you get it, put it towards something that's going to make a difference. And it's not another network appliance. It's not another detection. And for as much as I love deception is cool. Have your shit together first, or what are you really doing? If you don't have an asset inventory, you are nowhere near being ready for deception. And I will concede that a 90% complete asset inventory is a realistic goal. A 100% complete, I'll concede might be a bit of a stretch, right? Do it if you can, but spend on it. Spend on culture. The best thing you can do is if you can allocate $1,000 to either Visa gift cards, Starbucks gift cards, Snickers bars, some kind of incentive, a t-shirt, a challenge coin, create an incentivized reporting program in your organization so that the employee who reports the most phishing emails, the most suspicious things, the department who does it, however you structure that, gets an award. People will step on each other for competition. So if you want to create an effective security defense program in your staff, make it competitive. Don't take a punitive approach, take a reward approach. Put your money to that.
Word. Yeah, I'll close with great conversation, man. It's people, and I think another thing is you probably have most of the basic tools already in your environment. You're just not using them correctly, right? I agree with everything you said. You have to have an asset inventory. I also agree that 100% is not the goal. It never should be the goal, right? Because it's not possible. It's not reasonable, right? 95%, 90 some odd percent, right? Perfection isn't what we're trying for. We're trying for as good as we can do and still let the business make money, because that's why you're in business, is to make money. So don't get in the way of the business making money, because then you'll be out looking for a job. You know what I mean? But look through the things that you have in your environment when you're doing this asset inventory and you've got this firewall. Holy shit. Am I using it correctly? Do I know how to use it correctly? If I take Kevin Mandia's advice and, I'm not going to configure it correctly because it's operationally cumbersome, make it not operationally cumbersome. Use the fucking tool correctly. You can focus on those things before you go out and spend anything.
I think just echoing what you two guys have said, number one, but number two, so much more time, energy, brain cycles, and power could be spent without spending money. Literally, and I think it's twofold. One is we have the ability to communicate, collaborate, cooperate, and coordinate. Doesn't cost money. Maybe if you got to go spiff for Starbucks and tea, donuts, coffee, bottle of whiskey every now and again, whatever it takes to be. That I think is, like what Ryan was saying about that one. But number two, to Evan's point, and really it does come down to laying the foundations. It comes down to the business, it comes down to the communication. It comes down to doing all of this before we do a damn thing. The military, observe, orient, decide, act. You shouldn't go anywhere near those fucking purse strings until you've done the first 3 steps. And even then, I think the one thing that annoys me is it's not necessarily the first dollar, it's the last dollar. Because how many times have we all run across, oh, I've just got money left in my budget.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then fucking give it back.
Donate it. I mean, fucking give it to a nonprofit that's going to help, some of our societal problems,
Right.
rather than piss it away and give it to some rich guy who doesn't fucking need it.
Right. And that's the next one. Yeah. I'd said so much on this. This was fantastic. Ryan, kick-ass topic. And again, I will apologize for my tardiness.
No. I do not accept your apology. I do not accept your apology.
I don't know what you're saying, but anyways,
I do not accept your apology.
Life happens.
It does.
I said, this episode was sponsored by Shit Happens. Remember, America, shit, it happens. It's unpleasant, and it's going to happen to you, but it's okay because shit happens.
Apparently, if you're black, shit's going to happen even more because you're losing your damn cigarettes. So good luck. We got a fucking we got a mint field coming to a city block near you.
I got some theories on this. You know me, man. I got theories.
If you can ban menthol cigarettes, you can mandate better fucking practices from the information.
While we were talking, I was putting together, because one of the things I don't understand is how people don't understand who's oppressing who.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to put a diagram together. So that's what I was working on while you guys were talking. I was putting a diagram together about how this system works, the oppression, whether you're a politician, you're a rich person, you're a celebrity, your jobs are to protect yourself and to stay in your position of power, period. And I'll step on whoever the fuck I need to step on to stay in my position of power. I don't care if you're black, white, Jewish, Native American. I don't care if you're middle class. I don't care if you're working, whatever. I'm going to step on you or manipulate you so I can stay in power, period.
Yeah.
And so I'm putting together a diagram with that. I'm like, it's not even a fucking left and right thing.
Nope.
It's all a power thing.
Yep.
So stop
and
fucking fighting each other.
I'm telling you.
Stop fighting each other and look at what the fuck's happening to you and go fight who's supposed to fight.
When you get done with your diagram, Evan, you're going to have 5 boxes at the top. And out of those,
what are the 5 boxes?
We'll have this conversation offline. I promise. If you chase the thread, see where the money's coming from.
I'm really interested.
You will start to see that this foundation, who's in direct conflict with this other foundation, I support cause A, I support cause B. Chase the money, and all of a sudden you'll go, holy shit, they're being funded out of the same pool.
Yeah. Hey,
I already know. Yeah, I know that.
Hey. Yep. Not that I want to keep the talk going this evening, but speaking about being funded out of the same pool, we should probably have a conversation about who owns all of the government agencies' IP space at some point in time. Now that's come to light.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm not.
When you light up a third of the total IP space in the world.
Let's do that another night. That'll be a fun
overnight.
And then wonder why people start asking questions.
There were A-class addresses that have been dormant since 1970.
No, say it's not so. We're gonna have a fun conversation.
No one's ever seen that all of a sudden went, I'm alive.
I know. I know. We'll have a conversation. It'll be a fun one. Whose go is it next week?
Is it mine?
Evan. Awesome.
Is it? Wait a second.
No, hold on. What's the spreadsheet?
Chris's.
I know. See what the spreadsheet. I need to look at the spreadsheet.
All I know is this week was mine.
If it's mine again, we're playing Jeopardy. Fuck that.
More Jeopardy? Okay, I'm gonna do it.
All right, we'll figure it out. If it's mine, it's going to be fuck y'all. This is what I'm doing instead of security. I'm going to spend some time building mint farms.
Dude, I'm so serious. 869 days. Do whatever the fuck you got to do, and then come down and hang out with me. I'm gonna.
You ain't waiting 869 days to go down there.
No,
Oh no. I'm gonna go down there once a month between now
I
and
was
then.
gonna say,
But
yeah, I was gonna, yeah.
869 days. The only time you'll ever see me come back here is for motorcycle rallies.
No,
Because they don't have them in Mexico.
I got to be a little bit careful on. We'll have that
We'll get one
conversation.
started. We'll start a motorcycle rally.
Min farms. Min farms.
You could try.
Oh yeah, I can do motorbikes down there. Okay. All right. Separate conversation.
All right, love you guys. Have a great
You
night.
guys are awesome.
Take
Thanks everybody
care.
for
Thanks
listening.
everybody for listening as well. Thank you guys.
Good night.